Good morning, good morning. How's it going, guys? Beautiful day. Not so much in terms of weather, but opportunities that are brewing in this market. So many good opportunities I see cooking up. So we're going to take a look at the markets this morning together. We're going to take a look at gold, silver, going to go through the currencies, and take a look at how things are shaping up there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you guys with me today. So, nice drop in gold. If you were following us on our Telegram channel, you would know that we were watching for a move to the downside yesterday. I had posted that we were watching for a move to the downside, and sure indeed, that is what took place. We got that move. Originally, I was looking for a trade signal, if you guys remember, off of the 4-hour area of supply. It's too bad that we never got there. So close. So close. Just fell short of hitting that area of supply because we were watching for the short signal off of that area. And it failed to produce that short signal. We got so close, but there was some supply areas that came into play. And here's one of them that I mentioned up here. Oops, way too thick right here. There's a couple areas, one there and then the second one here. The supply was created and then price shifted. Turns out the better trade would have been to be looking at the 1-hour time frame. It was a very clear supply area being created here. Price came up to that supply and then reacted to the downside on the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, that was a good trade there. And then the reaction off of that 15-minute, off that 1-hour supply produced this right there, that supply zone, the 15-minute supply off of that 1 hour. So that would have been the trade right there. And I was looking at that trade. I was looking at that when price was down here. And I wanted to take it, and I hesitated, and I said, I've already got a trade on right now. Let's just leave that one alone. And it worked to perfection. So now what? Well, let's switch it back. So this is what we've got going on right now. When we look at the gold chart, we discussed this in our level 3 class before, not too long ago. In our level 3 class, we were talking about how we had a sequence that was playing out. So there were a sequence of events taking place here where the institutions were constantly buying. All right. They started here. Okay, they were buying here, they continued buying here, and over here they should have continued the buying, but instead they removed their area of buying, and then they came in with some supply here. But then that supply was removed, and they came in with buying again right here. But the buying that came in here wasn't able to produce much of a move to the upside, okay? Produced a move, but if we take a look at previous price action to the left, we can see that there was no aggressive move breaking through previous highs here. So at this point, some weakness was kicking in here. And this is when we were suspecting that we were probably going to see some move to the downside. And so that's what's been taking place over the last several days. Okay, so supply came in. This is why we were interested in taking a short here. Okay, I made a note on my chart, look for a short signal from here. This is exactly why we were looking for a short signal from there, was because of this breakdown of the buying. So we were tracking the institutional buying that was taking place, and when we see the institutional buying starting to slow down or starting to fall apart and selling started to come in, this is when we wanted to start focusing on taking shorts on gold. Okay, so as you can see, the selling has started here, and right now we are right here. So do I think price is going to drop even further? I think there's a very good chance of that. I think there's a good chance that price is going to continue to move lower. But the only problem is that when we look at the charts, we don't have any new supply coming into play. Okay, supply came into play up here, but I'm looking for something down here. Now this is the 4-hour time frame. Now we could switch down to one more time frame lower, like the 1-hour time frame, and we should be looking for some kind of supply. Yeah, there could be something here. There could be something here. So it'd be a good idea to watch this area as well. Let's just turn this into supply. Oh, it's not turning. Strange. There we go. All right. So I just want this to show on the 1-hour time frame and not on the 4-hour. So I'll do that. Okay. So this could be a good area here. And for that, I'm going to set an alert. Like that. And let's create an alert there like this. Once per bar, message. Okay. For 1-hour supply zone is about to be contacted. Let's look for a momentum shift to take place off of that supply and target a 3-to-1 move to the downside. Beautiful. There we go. Okay. So that's what we'll be watching for. We'll be watching for a move up here, a momentum shift, and then a 3-to-1 move to the downside. All right. What time frame would I be watching for? I'd be looking at a 15-minute time frame. Okay. So a 15-minute shouldn't be much of a risk to put on there, and so 3-to-1 target will be roughly like that. So I'll be watching for some kind of movement like up, okay, RSI switch, and then a move to the downside, okay, and I'll place my my stop loss above the bearish engulf that's created when RSI reaches around 60 on a rally. All right, that would be my short signal. So I think that could be good. I think that could be good. So I'll be watching for that. And again, this is a 1-hour area of supply. Why is that supply? Well, I'm focusing on this here, this large imbalance, okay? And I see that that large imbalance was likely removed by an area of demand here, okay? So if that is demand and it comes across, you can see that this is a large imbalance that existed, that price dropped through this area, okay? So any type of rally up here could produce something larger in terms of a move to the downside. Now, where is the target? Longer term target? Well, if I wanted to hold this position longer, I would be looking for a move maybe down to here. Right about here. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Target, 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 right there. There we go. And we will sync that, okay? If I wanted a larger move, I don't want a larger move. I don't need a larger move, okay? I just need 3-to-1. For the risk to riches challenge, all I need is a 3-to-1 move. That's all I'm aiming for, okay? Just a little bit of a move to the downside, and that's it. All right, so that's a trade on gold. I think more downside. And with that being said, you know, that means dollar moving higher, euro moving lower. And so on the euro, we had a trade idea that I posted. I wanted you guys to give me your analysis on this. Give me your ideas on this. And what we were looking at was this here, a move to the downside, which took place, as you can see. Only thing is that the way that I had structured this trade was to put the stop above here, okay, above these candles here. And so, as you can see, price came up, stopped out, and then played out in favor. Now, why is that? Well, I wanted to get your opinions and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So it comes down to, why would I take that trade to begin with? Well, let's go into some of the reasoning behind here, okay? So first of all, as you can see on my chart, I have a big red rectangle coming across the chart on the top. And if you've been following us on our Instagram channel, you'd know that this was an institutional area of selling. And so we were expecting a move to the downside to take place off this area. And so this is exactly what took place. The only thing is that we got to time the entry, right? So this is a daily area of supply. And so if we were to bring it down to a 1 hour time frame, okay, which is the time frame that we'd want to be looking at for a short signal. Remember, we took an original short off of here, and that worked out to perfection. Okay, we got our trade in there. We took a short and we shorted from there, and somewhere down here we closed our position. Okay, but now a price came back up to that area, and look what we got. Huge imbalance here. Okay, very large imbalance, which price came into right here, and then we came into that area of supply. So here's the deal. So this was the supply zone that should have been the focus, all right? And what I was looking at was, I was looking at RSI on these rallies, not taking into consideration that we were reacting from a lower time frame area of supply. Now that's the problem with taking a trade basing your stop loss on RSI. So a 4 hour area of supply, or 1 hour area of supply being contacted, we take it down to the 15-minute time frame, and we were looking at the RSI. Look at the RSI on this rally. Pretty aggressive. RSI here. Okay, we had a peak, but no proper rally-based drop here. We had a little bit of a something here basing with a drop, but that didn't produce anything long-lasting. We got another push here, and then we got something over here. The move to the downside didn't close below the wick. And then we had this here, price pushing up. So I was thinking, there's a good chance that since the RSI here was at 60, there's a good chance that this would have been the high here, this peak here. And so what if we were to take a short trade with that being what we were basing our risk off of? And so obviously you can see this doesn't work. Okay, this didn't work. In this situation, it didn't work. All right. So what was the problem here? The problem is that we should have been taking into consideration the whole area of supply. Okay, that's one way. Or the second way was to look here at the left and see this massive imbalance that took place. Okay, and if we were to draw a rectangle right across like that, look how price came in, held, respected. Okay. If this stop loss was placed just above this massive imbalance, then the trade would have been a winner. Okay? So look at this. All you'd have to do is place this above there like that. And this would have had to be adjusted for a 3-to-1 trade, and boom. Okay? That's what would have happened. All right? So this is some of the nitty-gritty details of what we do here at the school and how we learn about situations, how we trade them, how we move our stops, how we adjust our stops, where we should put our stops, and all that sort of stuff. So that was what took place here. So now what? Let's move on. Now what? So we know that price is reacting from an area of supply on the daily time frame. So what does that suggest? Well, to me, that suggests that we're going to see a continued move to the downside here. So this was just the initial move that we had up here, okay? This is just the initial move. Now what? Well, now we need to find some kind of a continuation of this move. If I look at the 4 hour time frame, what do I see? I see price contacting institutional demand. On what time frame? The 4 hour, okay? So could we drop down to the 15-minute and watch for a shift of momentum to the upside and go with a long position? It's possible. I would note that the RSI is extremely weak here, still weak, still weak. I'd be watching for some kind of big push to the upside, coming down, basing, bullish engulf, and RSI at 40. And that could be a nice 3-to-1 move, okay? But remember, this move to the upside is only counter to the larger move that we are expecting, which is a move to the downside. All right, I think that's what's coming, is a move to the downside. So you'd have to be careful with this move to the upside here. So 1 hour time frame might be a safer bet to look at. Might be, okay? As you can see so far, RSI extremely weak at this test on this demand zone. So if price was to come up too high and then come back down, I wouldn't like that. Okay, because I'm thinking that price is going to rally to some kind of imbalance and then start to break through that area of demand. So focusing on short positions is probably the better way. If I was to go take a short-term long position, I think I'd feel more comfortable taking it off of a 15-minute chart, because it's going to show me that instant move to the upside shifting, okay? If it comes down, yeah, it could definitely produce a nice 3-to-1 move. I want to see something really quick happening down here. So for a continued move to the downside, well, the fact that it's hitting a 4-hour area of demand and about to push price to the upside, with daily supply in play, probably it would be okay to look at a 1-hour time frame. Although, you know, I'm trying to determine whether or not there was an actual supply area here, institutional selling area here on the 1-hour time frame, like an official verified supply area. And I don't see how it is one, but I will definitely be looking at this area here. Okay, this area here as a potential spot for a short if price was to get up there. I think there's a good chance of that. Okay, so I'll be looking for a short off of here. And with that in mind, I'm going to put an alert. Let's do that. Once per bar message. 1 hour imbalance is about to be contacted. Look for a momentum shift off that area to the downside. So what time frame would I want to be looking at? Probably a 15-minute time frame. I'll be looking at a 15-minute chart. Okay. So if we get this momentum shift, right, 15-minute, price comes up. Let's say RSI is well above 60. We wouldn't want to be taking a short if that's the case, right? So you wait for it to shift. Okay, bring you an RSI of 60 with the basing candle, bearish engulf, and that would be my signal to go in short for a move to the downside. And again, I would just be looking for a basic 3-to-1 move. I wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. Okay. All right. I was also looking at yesterday. I was looking at USCAD long. I wanted to take a USCAD long. And we got that big move. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is going to continue to the upside. So just like the Euro US dollar is looking to move upwards short term, I think US CAD is looking to move downwards short term. And I've got alerts set here to alert me when price gets down to this demand area. But let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. I was watching this 15-minute area of supply here because I knew once this area got taken out, we were likely, very likely, high odds, very high odds, going to see a move to the upside. And that's exactly what took place. The only thing is, it didn't produce any significant buying zone there to take a trade off of. So there is no trade. But I am now watching for price to drop down here. Okay. So let's remove this. We'll put a new alert on the 15-minute time frame. Actually, this is a 4-hour area. Okay, so this is what I like here. Let's post this line here. Alert. Let's set the alert here. Price is approaching the 4-hour area of demand, comma, look for a long signal off of this area. Okay? So again, price come down, shift momentum, and looking for 3 to 1, and then we'll look for additional signals after that. Okay? So setting up pretty nicely, folks. All right, lots of trades setting up pretty nicely. So those are the ones that I will share with you. There's other ones that I'm watching, and I'll be posting those for members. And I'll share with you the trades after I've shared it with the members. Okay, so the members get the exclusive insight as to the exact trades that I'm taking, how I enter, stop losses, all that stuff. And then after the trade's playing out, I'll share it with the public. But these are the trades that I'm going to be watching for, some of the trades that I'm going to be watching for this week. All right? Any questions on that one? Let's see. Good day, everyone. Crude, nat gas. Can you use ATR to place? No, I don't use ATR. I remember learning about ATR. No, you don't want to use that stuff. At least I don't. I want to put my stop losses above selling zones and below buying zones. Why? Because those are the orders that the banks have to continue moving price in a direction. So I only want to put my stop losses on the opposing side of those areas, right? You know, using ATR, it's you know, it may work, it may not work. It depends where the zones are, right? All right, cut a 1 to 5 on that euro trade. Yeah, good, man. Good. That was a good short. Yeah. Sorry. That wasn't. I didn't actually open up a trade on the euro. That was just a trade idea that I want to get comments from you guys on. I didn't actually take that trade. I'm in the. I'm in this one though. Okay. I'm in this one long. Okay, waiting for the target to be hit. But yeah, I was just talking out loud some of the ideas of where to put the stop loss on the euro, how to manage something like that, how to trade something like that. It was a tricky one. I wanted to learn from it, but I wanted to have that discussion with you guys. That's why I wanted to show you that trade. But that was good because the move to the downside was definitely what we were expecting, right? The move to the downside, we nailed that move. Definitely nailed that one. All right. Okay, guys, we went, what, 27 minutes? Good. Nice session. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. And if you want more, come join us in our Telegram channel. All right. Take care, everybody. Nice chatting with you. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.